Alright, so we're picking right back up with our 2-point perspective drawing. Today we're going to learn how to draw a road, so how to do the lines in the road, and also how to put brick and a rock wall covering on your buildings. So starting off with your road, you'll have to decide. It depends on how much space you have left right here. This very well could be the distance of your road, and you could put your yellow lines directly down the middle. Or if you have a larger space than I do, which you may very well, considering our final paper is going to be a lot larger, I'm going to show you what you can do if you have a larger space. So what I'm going to do is just like I did for the sidewalk here, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to move it. See how I can move it here? You're basically moving on an axle. So if you put one point or one finger right here on your vanishing point, you should be able to move this wherever you want it to go. So let's just say you want to make your road that wide. You'll put your line down. And the same over here. Now some people are naturally going to be more technical, meaning they want everything to even out, and some people are going to be more just eyeing it. They like to see how it looks and just go with it. So if you're the kind of person who just likes to eye it, you can go in here and try to make this side of your road about the same distance as here. But if you're more technical, then you can measure it. So the distance between this point and my road is about 4.5 inches. So then all I have to do is go over here, make a point at 4.5 inches, and then connect the dots. So a lot of times it may seem more of a pain to actually have to measure it, but it's a lot quicker sometimes to measure it, because right there I didn't have to guess at all. I just moved 4 inches and then I had a dot to connect. Okay, so now you have two rows that are the same width. What you're going to do is just like we measured right here, was 4.5 inches. You're going to line your ruler back up close to the bottom of your page, and you're going to put a mark halfway. So if this is 4.5, you would put a mark at 2.25. So if yours was 5 inches, you would put a mark at 2.5, and etc. So you're just finding the halfway point. Alright, I'm going to zoom in here, so just give me a second. Alright, so if you see there, we'll make this bigger. You don't have to make yours, I'm just so you can see it. There's my halfway point. I'm just going to move it over just a bit. There's my halfway point. I'm going to go from that point and use my centimeter side. So flip your ruler over. What I like to do is line my ruler up the 1 centimeter with my dot that I just made. And you're going to make a mark at a 0.5 centimeter and at 0. And then you're going to make one more mark at the 1.5 centimeter. So all we did right there, it may seem confusing, but all we did right there was make 4 marks a 0.5 centimeter apart around the center of your road. So just to review, but you could always rewind this. I measured the distance here using inches just because they were easier. It was 4.5 inches. I made a mark at 2.25, which is half of 4.5. I flipped over to my centimeter side, lined it up with 1 centimeter, and I made a mark at 0.5 centimeter increments. So at 0, 0.5 centimeter, 1 centimeter, and 1.5 centimeters. Okay, so what that does is allows you to create your yellow lines in the center of your highway. or road. So you're going to connect the dots again. You're going to line it up with the vanishing point in each of your dots and make a line. Once you line it up with a vanishing point, you don't have to move it very much. Just rotating it. Alright. So it might not look like much right now, but once you color this in, and you don't have to do this, you would do this with colored pencils. I'm just trying to give you a visual. The road would be black, and then your lines would be yellow. So, let me grab. And you obviously would not do this with a pencil and a highlighter. Okay, so this is going to review. I'll do this side a little bit quicker, just because it's a review of what we've already done. You're measuring. This one's 4.5 also, which it should be because we measured. So you're going to make a mark at 2 1/4. Flip your ruler over. Put that mark lined up with 1 centimeter, and you're going to make a mark at every 1/2 centimeter. So that's at 0, 1/2 centimeter, 1 centimeter, and 1.5 centimeters. Now you're going to play connect the dots again. Now if you're having problems with this, just remember 2 points will always connect. Put your finger on one dot once you get it lined up, and then just rotate it until it touches the other. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom back out. We have our road. Okay, I'm now going to show you how to do bricks. Once you learn how to do bricks, a lot of the things that you learn in doing bricks, you can create a lot of other wall coverings with, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So with these bricks, depending on the size of your building, you'll have to decide how large you want them to be. If you make them look too large, they're going to look like cinder blocks, which is fine. If you want them to be cinder blocks, make them 1 inch rather than a centimeter. But we're making bricks, and we want them to look proportional, so we're going to make a mark at every centimeter. You could make it at every 1/2 centimeter or every 1/2 inch. Again, it just depends on how large you want these bricks to be. If you draw them at 1 centimeter and they look too big, then you just line your ruler back up and make it at every 1/2. Actually made a mistake right there. Sorry, made a mistake. I started making it every 1/2 centimeter instead of every centimeter. I just erased and restarted. Okay. So I have my dots. Again, I do this a lot in 2-point perspective. You're going to connect the dots. If you're working on this side of your building, you're going to go to your right vanishing point. So I lined up my points and I drew a line. I didn't draw through the door because I don't want a brick door. That door is wood, so you wouldn't see the bricks going through there. Now, every year I'll have a student who starts drawing these lines and they'll start forgetting about their vanishing point, and their lines will start straightening out. make sure before you ever draw a line that your ruler is connected to this vanishing point. Just always watch and just look for that vanishing point. Look for your ruler to be touching that vanishing point.
Greg or Jeremy, Mr. Marion needs you to come to his classroom with a pair of pliers, please. Thank you.
Okay. So now you're going to use the same dots on the left-hand side of your building, and they're going to go to your left vanishing point. So making sure that your ruler is touching your vanishing point. Also, when you're drawing in two-point perspective, keep in mind that this gets easier and easier the more you practice it. So if this seems really difficult to you now, just know that this is a process. It's a formula basically, just like in math. And once you learn it, you can plug it in and draw just about anything you want into your city. Okay. So, earlier when I was saying that once you learn how to draw bricks, you can learn how to draw a lot of different things. This, if you'll notice, looks similar to a building that had either vinyl siding or even wood. So, if you wanted to just do stripes on your building and didn't want to turn this into brick, then there's a lot of different wall coverings that are just stripes, like I said, like vinyl siding. Okay, so for brick, what you're going to do is flip over here to your triangle, which we haven't used yet today. You're going to line your triangle up with the top of your paper. So these two lines should be parallel. And you are going to make a line at every other So you're just alternating lines. And I'm going to move this away so you can take a step back and look at that. Now, I just figured this by looking at it. So I just moved about 1 centimeter over from the corner of my building. Alright, now for your second brick, you're going to do the same thing. Move about 1 centimeter over from this line now. And you're going to alternate, but in the reverse order. So I'll move that aside so you can see what I'm talking about. So the first one I did, if you were going to count these, I did 1, 3, 5, all the odd numbers. Here I did the evens, 2, 4, and you just make a line. Alright, things get closer in the distance like I've already said. So these lines should gradually start getting closer and closer together. So if you start at 1 centimeter, they're just gradually going to get closer. Okay, so you move over a little bit from this line. And now you're going to start back with the line you first started with. And these rectangles, aka bricks, will start to form. You just keep alternating your lines. Alright, so you're starting to see how these would come along. And with yours, you can play along with this and keep going till you get to the end out here with your bricks. Remember, one of the requirements for this assignment is that your buildings must have a wall covering. So, and we'll talk more about, I'll give you a printout of those requirements later.